this is Coach Alyssa from Isabella Fitness, and I'm going to bring you guys through a workout today. Alright, so for our workout today, we're going to be doing sit-ups, air squats, and push-ups. Those are going to be our three movements. Alright, so for today, I'm going to go over our air squat. That's going to be our main skill, and then I'll go into a little bit about our sit-ups and push-ups. Alright, so first thing, let's talk about the air squat. Right, so for our air squat, first thing we want to do is get about hip distance apart. Once we are hip distance apart, we're going to squeeze our heels into the floor. That should help us engage our glutes. So we're going to squeeze our heels in and towards the floor, engage our glutes here. All right, and then from here, we're going to keep a nice high chest. All right, we're going to keep a nice high chest, and we're going to bring our hips back. Right, we're going to sink down nice and slow. Knees tracking out, down below parallel, and come back up. All right, so if we want to see this from the side, all right, my toes are pointed forward, digging my heels into the ground, engaging my glutes. Knees are going to start tracking out, right, hips are coming back, chest is staying nice and high still in this bottom position, eyes are up. All right, so for a couple of air squats, this is what it should look like. From the front. All right, so a couple things that we don't want to see. Say that you're squatting and your heels are coming up. Right, our knees are coming forward, those heels are coming up off the ground. All right, the way that we're going to prevent that is before we start going down, we're going to bring our hips back, put that weight into our heels, and then come down. If we try that and we're still struggling to keep those heels down, the best thing we can do is take a sturdy box, a chair, a couch, anything like that, and you're going to actually sit back to that item, that chair, that couch. That'll give us a spot to come down to. We'll come all the way down to the chair. I don't want you to put all of your weight onto it, but you'll come down to the chair, tap, and come back up. That should help keep our weight into our heels and allow this to stop happening. All right, also another thing, just making sure that those toes don't get too wide here. All right, what we're looking for is to have our knees tracking out over our little toe in our squat. See how they're tracking out, coming out over that little toe. So if we get a little too wide with our squat, it's going to be harder to get those toes out, and we're going to end up bringing our knees in like this, which is something we don't want to do. All right, so toes are forward, knees are tracking out, and chest is staying nice and high, keeping this nice flat back. All right, so that's our air squat. Talk a little bit about our push-ups. So for push-ups, I'm going to show a couple different options. All right, first one I'm going to show is going to be from the knees. So first thing, what you'll do for whether you're on your knees or not, is we're going to stay nice and stacked here in our push-up position, keeping our shoulders up over our wrists. All right, knees are back, hips are going to come through, chest comes all the way to the ground, and presses up. All right, you can keep the hands pointed forward, turn them a little bit out here. We don't necessarily want them to be turned in. This allows us to have our elbows come nice and close to our body here, which will be our strongest position. I'm okay with you guys being a little bit wider, but we don't want to be out here in our push-up. All right, we want to keep those elbows a little bit closer. Same idea when we are coming up to our toes. Chest coming down, keeping our legs, our thighs off of the floor, and pressing back up, keeping a nice straight line with our back. All right, so if for any reason we find that we're doing our push-ups and this is happening, all right, that might be something to tell you like, hey, I'm gonna go from my knees today and be able to keep everything nice and tight here rather than coming up like a mermaid or a seal, right? That's something we want to avoid. All right, so that's for our push-up. Last thing we're going to talk about is going to be our sit-ups. So, just some general information about our sit-up. All right, we're going to get into a butterfly position. Feet can be touching each other here. And then what we're going to do is we're going to come back piece by piece with our spine. So we don't want to just slam our back into the ground here. We want to come piece by piece with our spine down to the floor, touch up overhead, and then we can use our arms to come up and touch our toes. All right, so one more time. Piece by piece rolling down and touching our toes. The best thing to do as well would be to, if you have a blanket you can roll up, if you have a pillow, put that behind your back. That way it can help create that natural arch with your back. If you don't have anything, this is what you would do, just slowly coming down and rolling our spine onto the floor. All right, for our workout today, we're going to do a 12-minute workout. All right, it's going to be a 12-minute AMRAP. We'll do as many rounds as possible of 15 sit-ups, 10 air squats, and 5 push-ups. All right, so we're going to use those 3 movements we went over. All right, guys, I'm going to start the clock, and then we're going to do as many rounds as we can. All right, starting with those sit-ups in 3, 2, and 1. Feet are together, rolling down. Going to do 15 here. Notice I'm going nice and slow on the way down, keeping everything nice and controlled. For the air squats, get set up, hip distance apart. Coming down for those 5 push-ups. Chest coming all the way down to the ground, hips coming through. All right, and once we finish that first round, we go right back to the top, which is our 15 sit-ups. Again, even when we get fatigued and we start getting tired, make sure we're going step by step, piece of our spine by piece, just slowly down here. Coming back up for the air squats. I'm going to show you guys this one from the side. notice I'm keeping my eyes up, not too high, just up in line with the wall here. This is going to keep the rest of my body, my chest up, all right, and keep this from happening at the bottom of my squat. All right, the rest of our body is gonna follow our eyes, so really try to focus on keeping your eyes up. And we're right down into the push-ups again. Showing knee push-ups here, but again, if you feel confident and your hips aren't sagging down when we're doing a push-up from a regular high plank position, that's totally fine. Just make sure that you're keeping yourself to a high standard, keeping our abs really tight by tucking our chest to our belly button here. All right, and again, making sure that this isn't happening in our push-up. We want to come up nice and straight. All right, that was round number 2. Going on to round number 3. Good, that's the end of our 15 sit-ups. Coming up again for our squats. Now if you're not sure what to do with your hands here, you can do as I'm doing and just keeping them together. All right, you can put them out to the side, whatever is most comfortable for you. Right, and on this one, I'm going to show push-ups from a high plank position. If at any time you need to grab some water and then hop back in. I'm just about hitting that 7-minute mark, so past our halfway point. Gonna keep moving through and starting back up. This is gonna be the start of my 4th round. Under 4 minutes left here. I'm gonna try to get in at least another round if I can. All right, and this is the start of round number 5. Make sure we're keeping ourselves to a high standard with these squats. I know as we get tired, we're more likely to let those heels come up, knees come forward, chest come down. So really take a second at the beginning of those squats and set yourself up for success with them. There's about 90 seconds remaining. I'm gonna get as many reps in as I possibly can. This is the time to really pick it up and push yourself here. Last 20 seconds. And 3, 2, 1. Nice. All right, guys. That was our 12-minute AMRAP. I got through about 6 rounds, almost finishing off that 6th one. All right, so when you do this, it's a good goal to aim for, and just making sure that our standard of form is always good, and especially with our air squats, really looking at how we're moving. All right, thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you in the next one.